If you're having to chase the man, he's not the one. I'm going to help you identify if you have been the chaser and how you can stop being the chaser and become the chasee. I think it's a word. I don't know. But anyway, I'm Joanna M. Cameron. For those of you who don't know me, I'm a licensed mental health therapist. I'm a life coach. I'm an author. I'm a mom. I'm a wife. And I'm a flight attendant. I do all the things, and everything that I share with you on this channel are things that I've experienced myself. So today I'm giving you some tips on how you can remove yourself from being the one who's chasing the man to becoming the woman who's being chased. These 3 things that I'm going to share with you are things that you probably didn't even realize made you appear as though you were chasing. You probably thought they were just natural things that you did just because you liked the guy. You don't have to do these things. And these are things that are going to help you identify, does he really like me? Is he really into me? And believe it or not, women over 40 are still going through these things today. I was over 40 when I experienced some of these things myself. So don't be surprised and don't be fooled in thinking that just because he's a grown man, he's doing grown man things. All right, so the first thing I want you to identify, is this you? Are you the one who's initiating most of the calls, most of the conversation, and most of the activities? If you're the one who's doing the initiating and reaching out all the time, and you're finding that the guy that you're pursuing, the guy that you're dating, he's not reciprocating that, then you're chasing. You need to understand that any guy that feels you're worth his time is going to do everything within his power to make sure he makes contact with you, because he doesn't want to lose the opportunity to have that communication. Every guy knows that the simple foundation in creating anything, any type of relationship with someone, is communicating, letting them know how he feels. The first thing that he'll do is profess how he feels to you. He can't profess if he's not picking up the phone and calling you. I know that we're in this whole stage of texting and not picking up the phone to call, but if you set your standards low enough to accept a text on the fly, then that's exactly what he's going to give you, because now you leave room for someone who's more serious and who's demanding more of his intentional personal time, whether it be through a phone call or an in-person visit. So if you're the one who's constantly picking up the phone, saying, hey, how are you doing? Checking on them, he's not the one, because he's not taking the time to give you that same courtesy. And especially if you've let him know you would like to hear from him. So that's number 1. If you're the one initiating everything, whether it's communicating on the phone or connecting in person, then he's not the one. All right, and so the second way to identify if you've actually been the one doing the chasing is accepting their BS. Like, if you're accepting every excuse that this person brings to you as to why they can't pick up the phone, as to why they're not available, and you're just sitting back accepting the excuses that they're bringing, whether it be because you don't want to risk losing them or you don't want a chance that you might be alone, you're doing the chasing. Even though you're not actually doing anything, you're accepting the crap that he's giving you. And you know when you're being fed BS. They'll come up with all these excuses. They're busy. They don't have time. They've been working. They've got family issues. Someone needed them. There's so many different excuses that they'll come up with, but the main ones is going to be work or family. You know why? Because they know you're not going to challenge either one of those. Start challenging, especially if those things are coming too frequently and they're constantly coming up with these reasons as to why they're not available or accessible to you. You know when you're being fed BS. So stop taking the BS. You don't have to settle. That all goes back to my other video of settling when you don't have to, because those are red flags. And we don't want to put ourselves in a position to where we're constantly being the yes woman and saying, okay, yes, it's fine. Okay, yes, I understand. Because how many times are you expected to just understand when things come up if they're not putting in that same time and attention and work towards making sure that your needs are met. So if you're just sitting back and you're just calmly taking it all and saying, okay, it's no problem, you need to think about how often you're actually doing that. And are these really valid excuses that they're coming up with? I know we don't like to challenge people when they say they have family issues, especially if they come in there in the beginning, because a lot of guys will come in there and set it all up. I got a lot going on in my family right now. I'm real busy at work. I can't, constantly be on the phone, or I can't constantly spend time. They're setting it up before they even get into anything serious with you, because they know then they can give you the bare minimum and you're going to hold on, because they preface the whole stage of the relationship with, I'm busy, I got family issues going on. So you're supposed to be this understanding woman and accept whatever they give you, the BS, as it goes along. Now, if you choose to accept that, just know you've chosen to accept that. And as you get tired of it, you can't complain, because that was your decision to accept the BS from the beginning. You can always leave. You can always change your mind. But what are you complaining for if you kind of knew in the beginning that you were going to be fed a bunch of BS and you decided to stick around for it? So you either complain and leave, or you enjoy it and stay. You got two choices. There's no need to complain about what they've given you, especially when they preface the whole relationship on this is how it's going to be. There's no need to complain about it if you've decided to stay. So think about that. If you're going to complain, then leave. If you're going to stay, then stay with a smile. You already knew what it was. So the third thing that will let you know if you might be chasing a guy is if you are constantly available to him. If you are always available when he picks up the phone, if you're always available when he initiates, let's go out, let's hang out, but he's not always available to you, then you're doing the chasing. And again, physically, are you actually doing anything? Are you the one necessarily initiating? No, because when you initiate, like in number one, guess what? He's not available. But if you find that you are always accessible and available to a phone call, or to a, hey, let's hang out, or to a, hey, I'm coming over, but you don't get that same courtesy, you're the one doing the chasing. So what you got to do instead is not be so accessible. Don't be so available. If you want to turn all this around, if you want to be able to identify if this guy is the right guy for you, it's an easy fix to it. You reverse the roles. I'm going to read the definition to you of chase. The definition of chasing is the act of pursuing or running after something or someone with the intent to catch, attain, or achieve. So if you're chasing something, guess what it's going to do? It's going to run. If you chase a dog, it runs from you. If you're chasing a dream, it never seems obtainable. If you're chasing a man, he's going to run away just like a dog will. No correlation, no pun intended. But just be mindful that anything you're chasing after, that means it's a struggle to attain it. And we don't ever want to be in a position to where we're having to chase anything or anyone. So the same in life, just in general. You want things to come with flow and with ease. If something is aligned with your goals, with your values, it's not going to be anything that you have to chase. It's going to be a smooth transition, a smooth transaction, and a smooth interaction in regards to a relationship. So if you ever get to a point to where you feel like you're constantly doing the work, you're constantly making the calls, you're constantly initiating, let's hang out, or if you're listening to excuses and you're constantly accepting those excuses, or if you're always available, they never have to wonder if you're going to turn them down or not. How fun is it to eat all the ice cream in the world because it's just accessible right there in your refrigerator. Eventually you get tired of it, right? You got access to it. You're never running out. You get bored with it. You don't want it anymore because it's always there. You know you can have it at any time. So because you know that ice cream is going to always be in your refrigerator, well, your freezer, you're going to go and get something new. You're going to want a whole nother dessert, right? You're going to say, well, you know what? I'm tired of ice cream. I've had it so much. I'm going to go get me some cake. You don't want to always be accessible and available. And I know you're probably thinking, so, well, what about when you get married? You got the same old stuff every day. Even in marriages, people have lives. They're not always accessible. They're not always attainable. They're doing other things. And a husband and a wife, they can't always just say, hey, babe, I need you to do this. Well, I got something else to do. You're going to have to go do it yourself. But for some reason, when we're dating and we're trying to get the man, oh, no problem, I'll go pick up your dry cleaning. Oh, no problem, yes. Hey, I'm on the phone. How are you? We're going to stop doing that. We're going to stop being so accessible and attainable. And you don't necessarily have to wait for them to chase you, but you want it to be reciprocated. Allow yourself to be the one who's chasing at some point, but also allow them to be the one that's chasing at some point too. Stop being so nervous that if you're not accessible for them on an everyday basis, that they're going to go somewhere else. That's what's going to actually keep them there. You want to build some intrigue. You want to build some wonder. You don't want them to feel like you're just always going to be there. Even if you are going to always be there, don't let them know that that's your plan. Build some intrigue, build some wonder so that they can then want to be the one to pick up the phone and check on you and call you. They can then want to initiate, hey, let's hang out. They can then want to stop making excuses for not being available because they know you're not going to always be available and accessible to them. You got to do something to make it exciting. And that's just human nature. It's not necessarily a man thing or a woman thing. It's just human nature. Anything that we can have every day, all the time, we get tired of it. So you can keep any relationship exciting, even a married one, because you're not always going to be right there doing exactly what they want, exactly when they want it, exactly when they say it. Okay? So stop chasing and do those things instead. If you get to a point to where you just like, well, I'm just sitting around doing nothing, I want to answer the call. Call somebody else. Give it a break. Give it a break. Challenge yourself to do something different. Find some new hobbies. Find something to do. Take the time to just make a whole list of things I'm going to do instead of answering the call or saying yes to him. Just have a list so that you can just kind of go pluck from the list and pull out different things that you can do instead of always being available. All right? So I'm Joanna M. Cameron. I would love for you to subscribe to my channel. I'd love for you to share the videos with someone else. And I'd love for you to know that you can manifest any type of relationship that you desire, anything in your life that you desire, you can have it, you can manifest it. And yes, you have to do some things to line yourself up in the right path to be able to open the doors to manifestation. These tips that I'm giving you are definitely going to help you. If you have any questions, just leave me a comment, let me know. I will reach out to you. The description will give you all the ways to contact me. Again, subscribe, like, and share the video. If you've gotten anything from this video, go back and watch my other videos, and I will see you again next time. Bye for now.